I must ask, what convinces a woman that competing in business with men is more important than nurturing the next generation? If you'd like to respond.
That's a good question. I think that, like, like I said earlier, I just have a very individual view, and I think that maybe it's kind of a hedonistic view in this sense, but people should be able to do whatever maximizes their own happiness. And if having a career and being a business owner is like maximizes my happiness more so than.
You don't believe that, though. You don't believe people should be able to do whatever they want to.
Okay, not whatever. They have to concede to some things in the social contract with the government.
Then why can't they concede to let us make a social contract with the government that requires you to take care of your children and nuclear family, and that's what we move to as a society?
Because that's based on the Bible. Harm. Because that's based on the Bible. It's not.
No, I'm talking about minimizing harm. I'm talking about minimizing harm.
There's no what. Okay, can you quantify for me how much harm is caused by the nuclear family being broken apart?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's before even Andrew says it, that's well documented with the statistics showing that most kids that come from single parent households usually don't do well in school. They have behavioral issues, and they're usually in the pipeline to commit more crime or go to prison or abuse drugs. Anywhere, if the father is not in the picture, the father is not the main disciplinarian in the home, those kids usually have, they call them daddy issues. So the statistics always show that kids are better off in a two-parent household. I'm surprised she's even asking this question.
Metrics. I just went over a shitload. You want to go through them again?
Yeah, sure.
Let's start with the metric of divorce rates increasing, the amount of women that are on the pill. Let's talk about.
But you can't prove that those are being caused by feminism.
We can. We can look at policies going back to when the 19th Amendment was ratified, and we can see who pushed for no-fault divorce, which was feminist. We can see who pushed for the pill, which was feminist. We can actually, yes, we can actually track. We can track all of this data. In fact, the CDC does
What's
track
so bad about the pill?
A lot of these.
What?
Data.
Side effects?
I think that the pill might be one of the reasons that the mental illness rate in women is so high, because it fucks their hormones all up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Some women say that the pill, the contraceptive pill, affects their. First of all, it messes up their cycles, and then apparently it makes some women gain weight. I'm surprised she doesn't know this. This is like common knowledge these days. And then the contraceptive pill makes some women I remember, I think, getting tired all the time. In other words, it messes up their hormones. They have like hormonal imbalance in the body. I'm surprised she doesn't know this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the milk you drink doesn't fuck your hormones all up? Don't even ask me.
I don't. Well, I don't drink a lot of milk, but I can understand that. But there's laws in the books that you can't drink raw milk.
Okay, but I'm saying there's
and there used to be that people could, but now there's laws saying you can't. And yes, you're right. There are hormones inside of all types of food that can fuck your hormones up for sure, but not nearly as. And that's over time. Plastics will do the same thing. We were talking about that earlier. I agree with that. That's one thing we can find common ground on, right? Foods can have all sorts of hormones, antibiotic-resistant pathogens in them. But that doesn't change the fact that mental illness likely is increasing in women due to the fact that so many are on birth control.
You can't just take a fact and put it next to another fact and say that one causes the other. Where's the reasoning? There's no argument being made. That one is not the premises for the argument.
He already made his argument.
Do you think, when it comes to reproduction, that the pill has decreased reproduction in women?
Probably.
Has decreased. I couldn't tell you, but
I don't know for sure, but I think it could, because if a woman has been, let's say, on birth control for 5 years, there could be a possibility when she gets off the birth control, she may have a hard time actually getting pregnant. Now, I don't know for sure, but it could be, because if the pill messes up her hormones, why couldn't it messes up her cycles? That could be one of the side effects. I don't know, obviously, but I could see that happening.
It is a preventative measure.
You don't think it's reduced reproduction?
Yes, it has.
It has.
If every woman,
well, I don't know. That's just a correlate. You can't just put one thing next to another thing and then make this bold claim that correlation makes causation, right?
If every woman was to have been taken off of birth control from the beginning of its creation and had sex all those times until now without the birth control, there would be a lot more babies born.
But that's just a correlate, right?
She's
I
right.
just explained to you how one causes the other because the birth control literally prevents the pregnancy.
But all causes just use strong correlates, all of them. Just so you know.
Go back to what you were saying. What was the point you were making? You said the pill.
The point that I was making was that the nuclear family and the damage which has been caused by us getting away from the nuclear family can be quantified. And then I was explaining the ways in which it can be.
Keep going.
So one of the things that I brought up was mental illness in women and the fact that so many women who are on antidepressants especially, they're able to correlate that with the fact that they're on birth control pills.
How do you know that they're not depressed because of outside reasons?
Because they take them off the birth control pills.
I honestly think she's debating in bad faith. She's not, because he makes good points, refutes her arguments, and then she's like, "How do you know this? How do you know that? How do?" It sounds like she's not debating. It sounds like she's trying to it sounds like he's teaching us something, but she doesn't want to learn or believe what he's saying because she doesn't know. So she keeps saying, "How about this? How about that? How about that?" Like, I don't think this was supposed to be a debate, but she's not doing a good job at debating. Sounds like she's just talking for the sake of it, just to make sure she has a point, but she's not making any points.
And they become less depressed. That's how.
Oh yeah? Do you have a study for that one?
No, did you have a study for
See everything? Do you have a study?
Gave? No, but it makes sense, right?
But yours, okay, that's fine.
See? She's speechless.
But
any
yes,
other
there is data.
quantifiable
There is
factors?
data for that.
Any other quantifiable
Oh,
factors?
there's tons. There can be genetics involved. If you come from a single family household, that seems to have more of an impact on girls, unless the girls are raised by the fathers. And then if they're raised by the fathers instead of their mothers, it seems that their mental
What is your
illness
evidence
decreases.
for the claim that a single family influences girls more heavily? I mean, a single parent family.
It's not even
Because
wait.
Well, that
It's not even just about the girls. Both boys and girls are affected if they grow up in a single parent household. Whether it's just with a mom or whether it's just a dad, right? Kids need two parents. They need that balance. What mom can't do, the dad will step in. What dad can't do, the mom will step in. That's the balance, right? So every time one of the parents is not in the picture, it's gonna affect the child somehow, somewhere. You know what I mean? So to an extent that they say that even kids who have both parents in the household, but let's say the dad is always working away 2 months and then come back and then away for another 6 months, let's say, for example, for the veterans or the military people, if the dad is always away or contract jobs or working in a different state, months on, months off, it's gonna affect the child somehow, somewhere, compared to the child where the parents are both present for most of the time. They go to work and come back, right? So even then, I'm not saying that kids who come from two parents household don't go off the rails and don't become productive citizens. I'm just saying the statistics show that there's a high likelihood that kids who come from a single parent household are going to have some issues becoming productive citizens in the future.
That's not my claim. So my claim was, in a single parent family where there's a woman, single mom, who's running the family, the outcomes for the children, including mental illness, seem to be worse than if there's a single dad. The outcomes still aren't good. They're not like optimal. It's not
Yeah, they're not the
what you'd like
best.
to see. They seem to be better from a single father household when it comes to mental illness than a single.
Yeah, because father's discipline. I remember this one time. I think I was in either sixth or seventh grade, and I got into a fight at school, and then my teachers told my mom, and my mom had to just say one thing: "Let's wait for your dad to come back." That was enough to like to shatter my world, because I knew the moment my dad comes back, he's gonna spunk the hell out of me, and that's exactly what happened. And ever since then, no teacher ever told you that I ever got into a fight at school. But that's because I had the fear of my dad being involved in disciplining me. You know what I mean? But if a kid knows, because especially seventh, eighth, ninth grade, kids start acting out and they stop listening to their moms, right? Because from like let's say first grade to fifth grade, the mom may be able to spunk the kid if the kid doesn't do nothing right, right? But as the kid gets taller and bigger, they start rebelling. As they get into that adolescent stage, they become rebellious against the moms. But they usually respect the dads, and they still fear the dad because the dad is usually still stronger and bigger, and they know that deep down, right? So if the dad is not in the household, usually moms have a tough time disciplining kids who are getting older and bigger. Usually they refer to the dad to discipline the kids who are messing up.
Mom household when it comes to mental illness in the kids.
It's because single father households tend to make more money.
No,
not
Yes.
really.
no.
Yes, it's true.
Because
Look it up.
That is true.
Single father households
but
make more
you're
money
leaving
than
a
single mother
big
households.
variable out of there,
Discipline.
which is that the state aid, which comes in to single mothers along with child support, will often compensate for that income gap. This would include food money, free health care.
Yeah.
Trust
all
me,
of
I
those
know all
things.
about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it does.
But-
It does compensate.
Is it weird that single mom households get state funding, or I don't know, they get funded, but single father households usually don't get food stamps and stuff like that?
So if a man makes $4 on average more per hour than a single mother, that will disqualify him from potentially hundreds of dollars in food aid plus free health care on Medicaid.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Yes, but
So
the
that's a
reason
bad
why
argument.
that state aid exists so heavily is because historically men have discouraged women from working and have encouraged them to be mothers. They're less capable to work and
But
hire
right now-
employees. Therefore they need more welfare when
even
their
beating
husbands
up the
die or
welfare.
leave.
I'm not even beating up the welfare. Men can qualify for the same welfare if they make less. I'm pointing out that your argument that the reason there's less mental illness inside of the children is because mommy doesn't make as much money as daddy would when it's clearly compensated
False.
for by state aid.
Would you say a Section 8 apartment is the same as an apartment paid for by daddy's salary?
But daddy's
No.
Daddy, but here's the thing. Let's start with
wait, she's assuming the dad is making like $1 million. No, the dad is not. And then also, most times the dads are paying child support. So the dad is not living in this lavish apartment, right? Sure, the mom might be in Section 8 housing, but the dad is not living lavishly. Very few dads are living lavishly in expensive apartments. And the dads who do that, who have that kind of money to live lavishly, usually pay very heavy child support. And usually, if the child support is that heavy, the mom, for the most part, is not going to be in Section 8 housing, and the mom is probably not going to be on welfare because the judge will tell the dad to pay as much child support as possible so the mom and the kid can have better housing. So her argument goes down. Her argument doesn't even make sense. All right, let me go back to where it was.
You
Okay,
said
then
the
I can-
reason for that is because they make a lot less money, but that's not really true.
Then I can backpedal. That's not the only reason. I think that likely it could be one of many reasons
Okay, what are some other reasons?
that children coming from a single mother household are more likely to be mentally ill.
Yeah.
Let's see. I bet they wonder why their dad's not there.
Wouldn't they wonder why their mom's not there if they were with their dad?
Yeah.
Huh. I guess that's a valid point.
See,
I think a little harder.
See, guys, this is why I was saying this was supposed to be a debate, but to be honest, I think Andrew knows way more than she does, and she's slowly learning from him. But she's probably never gonna accept the fact or acknowledge the fact that she's learning something from him, because she's a self-proclaimed feminist, so she's gonna stand toes down, right? So her arguments are kind of supporting his arguments, but she realizes it at the end. So this wasn't a fair debate because he's like winning the whole time.